YouTube, how the fuck we doing? Morning Wood Fantasy back here. Mitchell Cotton. We're going to run through the top 10 quarterbacks today. Or the top 12, sorry. So who I think is going to finish as the QB1. As a QB1 this year. Basically, 1 through 12, if you're in a 12-team league, the top 12 quarterbacks will be the QB1s. Starting off, if you disagree, actually, you could disagree, but I think you're dumb if you do. Number one, I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. I think he's also the best fantasy quarterback in the league. I think he's the most reliable to not have defenses adapt to what he's doing because he's just a fantastic freaking passer. The guy threw 50 touchdowns. First year he comes out, which was technically his second year, but he was he played like a rookie because he hadn't gotten any time under his belt for that first year. So Patrick Mahomes, number one. The other guy who you could argue should be number one up there is Lamar Jackson. My argument against Lamar is that, one, mobile quarterbacks tend to not really get figured out, but sort of get figured out. We've seen guys like Michael Vick before that put up crazy fantasy seasons. Colin Kaepernick, Cam Newton, although Cam Newton's a little different than those two because he was a better passer, at least early in his career. Where defenses, it's kind of a shock when they initially start playing him because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to scheme against a guy as athletic as those guys. But Lamar is also a different story because he's more athletic than Vick, who would I just name? Kaepernick and Newton combined. I mean, the guy's a fucking race car out there. He's so fast. He is so quick. He's what everyone joked about him being last year. He's a running back. You know, you have a running back and a quarterback out there. But I also think he's the most likely quarterback to get figured out if anyone were to and defenses were to adapt to his game. So, got Patrick Mahomes 1, Lamar 2. Number 3, this is where, number 1 and 2 are set in stone. If you don't have Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, or Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, you have no idea what you're doing, and you shouldn't be playing fantasy. But that's all right, because that's why you come to me. So I can tell you what to do. But number 3, I got Kyler Murray. Arizona Cardinals, that offense is so nice now. They got D-Hop in the offseason. They no longer have to deal with old man fucking David Johnson, who looks like he's playing with a goddamn wheelbarrow on his back, full of slag and just weighing his ass down. Like I said, they got D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk coming into, his third year now, I think. So he's coming into his own, should be at least. Old man Fitz, reliable, old as shit. That guy, Father Time, just can't get a hold of. I got Kyler Murray because he's mobile. So you're gonna get the work on the ground. You're gonna get the work through the air. He's got a rocket arm. He's so good through the air, contrary to some other mobile quarterbacks in the league. He's got such a great offense. They addressed the O-line in the draft. They got Josh Jones in the third round. High-profile tackle. They got him in the third, but he was a first-round talent graded out by most of the scouts. So they got 2 insane steals in this draft, but that's a different story. I just really like this Cardinals offense coming into 2020. I think they're going to be real strong. I think he's going to be real good. And he was real good last year. He was a QB1, finished the year as. And he frankly didn't play well. He played okay, but he only threw, 22 touchdowns? Something like that? And he's going to throw more than that this year. You can really only go up. 22 is basically the minimum. D-Hop is going to get his 9-10. That's 50% of what you got there. Then you just add on everyone else. You just sprinkle stuff in there. Kenyon Drake, Chase Edmonds, their backup running back. You got Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald. The list just goes on. He's going to end up throwing more than 22 touchdowns. He's got the rushing upside. He's got the rushing touchdown upside. I really like Kyler Murray this year. Number 4, I got Dak Prescott. So Dak is extremely mobile. I love Dak this year. I moved him up I had the rankings made. I think I had him at, actually I think I might have kept him at 4 in my rankings pre-draft, but I just like him a lot more at 4 now. I feel really confident that he's going to have such a great fantasy season. He's another one of those quarterbacks like Kyler Murray who's mobile, but he's also got a good arm. He can get it done through the air. Plus, they had CeeDee Lamb in the draft, who is just an all-world talent. The guy is absolutely phenomenal, and that offense is looking real good. The Cowboys maybe had the best draft in the league. Top 5 for sure, no doubt. But yeah, I love Dak Prescott this year. You still got Zeke. He's going to open up. He's obviously a great running back, going to open up the passing game. Now you got Amari Cooper. You got Michael Gallup, who was showing a lot at the end of last year. And now you got CeeDee Lamb stepping into his own. That offense is looking damn good. Plus, old man Witten, Jason Witten, he's another one of those guys. Father Time just can't get his fucking hands on him. But Witten's not gone, he's gone. He's not there anymore. They got Blake Jarwin, who isn't necessarily I don't really know if he's a step up, honestly. I mean, nobody really knows what we got in Blake Jarwin because we've never really seen too much from him. But I don't know. The offense just looks great. Yeah, they lost Zach Martin. O-line's going to struggle because of that a little more. If you look at the games last year where Zach Martin was out versus when he was there, Dak Prescott's numbers flared. I mean, massively between those games. It was quite a difference. Basically, the entire offense, Dak, Zeke, Amari Cooper, it translated down the whole line, trickle-down effect. So we'll see how that affects them this year. They got a new coach coming in. Normally, that would kind of scare people away from quarterbacks, but it's Mike McCarthy, or just an offense in general, but it's Mike McCarthy. The guy is a Hall of Fame coach. He's a great coach. I mean, he's had guys, he had Aaron Rodgers, you know. I'm not going to say he made Aaron Rodgers what he was, but Aaron Rodgers is a big part of what he is because Mike McCarthy was a great coach for so many years. And I don't know, I just like Dak a lot this year. So 5, got Russell Wilson. You can see a trend between these top quarterbacks here. Guys who are mobile, but guys who can also throw the ball. Russell Wilson's no exception. The guy's just a grinder. I mean, you see him putting in the work in the offseason. The guy is, I think he's creeping up on 30 now, but God, he's so athletic. He's so fast. He's ultra accurate. He's ultra efficient, too. The amount of touchdown passes he throws and the amount of pass attempts that he has is ridiculous. I mean, the guy threw the ball only 516 times last year, which sounds like a lot if you don't know stats a lot. But I think, that is, let's see, 12th, I think. 12th, 13th in the league. I mean, the guy just, and this is kind of leads into what I was saying. He was throwing, he's ultra efficient. He throws a lot of touchdowns for how many pass attempts he actually has. Now, Rashad Penny is going to start the season on the PUP list. He's going to be injured. He's not going to be in. Chris Carson, still a little bit up in the air. They took a late round running back who's just a bowling ball. DJ Dallas. He's not going to be a pass catching back. But what that might mean is if their running backs aren't there, what the hell else are they going to do? They're going to throw the ball. Russell Wilson might finally get his chance. We might finally get to see Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll just let him unload his arm and just sling it around the yard all day. And if that happens, Russell Wilson, I got him at 5 here. He could finish as the QB1 if he finally gets a chance to just launch the ball whenever he wants. I really like Russell Wilson a lot this year. Plus, you got DK Metcalf coming into his second year. He's got weapons. He does have weapons. Tyler Lockett, what did I just say? DK Metcalf. I don't even know if you could call this guy a weapon. Will Dissly, because he's pretty much the whitest fucking... He's the biggest epitome of a white guy in the league. I mean, he's just unathletic. He is by no means a football player by what you think of when you think of a football player. But the guy just gets the job done. I mean, he's just I don't even know if he's a grinder. He's unathletic. But he just gets the job done. It's weird. You got Will Dissly, though. He's got weapons around him. He's got a great coach, decent defense. He won't be... Well, that could actually go against him. But I just really like Russell Wilson this year. Number 6, I got Drew Brees. Drew Brees, every year, he just seems like he just throws up a ton of yards. And it's mostly because he has a ton of pass attempts. Those pass attempts have actually kind of gone down the last few years because of the emergence of Kamara and, the year before, and Latavius Murray, but then the year before, Mark Ingram as well. But I think this is going to be Drew Brees' last year. It pains me to say it because I love Drew Brees. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks. And my brother's a diehard Saints fan, so he loves Drew Brees, so he's been a fan in our household. But I think his last year, he's gotten screwed over the past 3 seasons. He's got a chip on his shoulder. They should have made it to the Super Bowl really almost 3 years running, I think. I think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl this year. I'll just go out there and say the prediction this early on. I think they're going to make the Super Bowl this year, barring injury. If they get injured all over the fucking place, then that's a different story, and nobody can predict that. But I love Drew Brees this year. He's going to throw the ball a lot. Nobody's going to question the weapons he has. Kamara, Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Jared Cook. The list goes on. He's a great quarterback. He's reliable. He throws the ball a lot, he gives him a high floor. He's got a high ceiling. He can have the 35, even 40-point games. I just like Drew Brees a lot this year. Number 7, I got Josh Allen. Now, Drew Brees was kind of the first quarterback that we had where he's not mobile. Josh Allen is extremely mobile, and he might be the third most athletic quarterback in the league behind only Lamar and maybe Kyler. The guy's extremely mobile, extremely fast. He's big, he's strong, he's got the rushing upside, which gives you a floor. If he can give you a good 3, 4, 5 fantasy points of a floor just because he gets 30 or 40 rushing yards, 50 rushing yards from scrambling, that's huge. That's a big deal. It's huge. It's going to make all the difference. And now he's finally got some potent weapons. He's got Stephon Diggs in the offseason. They signed him. They got John Ross still, the deep threat. Dawson Knox, the white tight end, who is just, oh my God, dude, that guy, you know who he reminds me of? He's the tight end version of what Peyton Hillis was for the Browns, like fucking 6-7 years ago, where he will just absolutely hit you and run you over so hard. I think this is going to be a damn good team. And because of that, I like Josh Allen a lot. I think he's going to be... The O-line's not great, so people could be saying, oh, well, is he going to get sacked a lot? Well, yeah, maybe, but he's also going to be scrambling a lot, which might up the rushing floor even more. But nonetheless, he's coming into his third year, or is he? Yeah, he's coming into his third year, his third season. He's gotten better each year. I think he gets better again. And I think he's going to have a great season this year. So I got 7, Josh Allen. 8, I got Shaun Watson. Now, you're probably wondering a lot why you haven't heard Deshaun Watson's name in the top 7 quarterbacks, because almost everyone has him in their top 7 quarterbacks. Almost everyone has him in their top 5. But I just don't like Deshaun Watson at all. Their offensive line is bad. I mean, it's bad. It's not even average. It is bad. Even with Laramie Tunsil, it is a bad offensive line. And then Bill O'Brien, the world's worst GM coach combination to ever walk the planet, just goes and gives away DeAndre Hopkins for a bag of dildos. And now he's got, and then they sign back Brandon Cooks. Sure, that is not a replacement. Absolutely not. Kenny Stills, Will Fuller, and Brandon Cooks, all 3 of his primary receivers, his top 3 wide receivers, are basically the same guy. Just deep threats, sling it down the side. Problem is, you gotta, if you're gonna sling it downfield, you gotta have the time to do that. He ain't gonna have it. The line ain't gonna block for him. So I don't know. I don't love Deshaun Watson this year. I think his weapons get worse. He's got David Johnson, who I'm almost positive they're just going to run into the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of David Johnson's last year and he just ends up getting hurt again and just falls out of the league. But I don't love Deshaun Watson this year. I think everyone else is too high on him. I think it's going to bite him in the ass, and that's why I got him at 8. Now, that doesn't mean that I think he's a bad quarterback and you shouldn't draft him, because I think he's going to do good just because the guy's an all-world talent regardless. I believe in Deshaun Watson. I do not believe in Deshaun Watson's team and his supporting cast and even his coaches. So, but I got him at 8. 9, Matthew Stafford. Dude, Stafford is so good. Through the first 8 games last year, he was the QB 6. Or not 8 games. Through the first, 6 games, 7 games, basically before he broke his back, he was the QB 6. He was on an MVP caliber year. The guy has been getting better every year, and people are like, oh, now he's injury prone, whatever. No, the guy's not injury prone. He literally went 11 straight seasons without ever missing a game. Yeah, he was injured for some of those games, but he was just playing through. He didn't give a shit. He's like, fuck it, I'll go out there and I'll play even with a broken back. Oh, spine's cracked? Yeah, don't worry about it. He just was going out there. He's a grinder. He's going to do the same thing this year. I love Stafford. The offense is good. The offense is good when Stafford's in there. They got Kerryon Johnson, drafted DeAndre Swift, got Kenny Galladay, maybe the best young receiver in the league, aside from, I guess if you call Michael Thomas a young receiver now, yeah, he's still like 24, 25, or I think he's 25. And then you got Marvin Jones still, who's on the wrong side of 30 now, but he's a good deep threat always. TJ Hawkinson coming into his second year. Tight ends almost never make an impact as a rookie. Coming into their third year, that's when they really start to make the impact. This offense is poised to be really good this year. Now, the Lions, I don't know. I live in Michigan. I'm a Lions fan through and through, but I have no hope for the Lions, but I do have hope for the offense and for Stafford, at least in a fantasy perspective. They're going to throw the ball a lot. He throws the ball a lot. He throws touchdowns a lot. He's got deep threats. He's got underneath guys with Carrion, Amendola, Hawkinson. He's got athletes around him. The O-line is questionable here and there, but I don't know. Stafford's always had a questionable offensive line, except he's had the questionable offensive line with no weapons, aside from Calvin Johnson, who is a weapon of his own right, but with no running game, and he's got it done. Now he's got it all. He just doesn't have the offensive line. But that hasn't changed his entire career. He's going to put up the numbers. I like Stafford a lot. I'm higher on Stafford than I think everyone else is. I got him at 9, and I think he's one of the guys who I think could easily finish in the top 5. I mean, if he stays healthy, which history shows that he should. It's only been the past couple seasons where he's had injuries that are just kind of fluke injuries. I mean, break your back. Like, how many guys are breaking their back in the league? Not many. Now, you may think, oh, well, is he going to be able to come back from it? I don't know. I mean, we hope so. We're getting all the reports that he's going to be perfectly fine. The guy, if you see him on freaking Twitter and shit, he's a mathematician. He's probably already calculated all the shit that needs to go into his back to figure out how to get himself good. I like Stafford a lot this year. 10, I got Matt Ryan. Now, Atlanta, one thing they do good is they throw the ball. They throw the ball some more, and then they're going to throw the ball even more. They throw the ball a fuck ton every year. Pass attempts, Matt Ryan was 3rd in the league last year, 616, behind only Jared Goff and Jameis Winston, who was playing blind and just had no idea what he was doing. That's a whole different thing, though. But Ryan, he's got weapons around him. He's got Gurley, a good receiving back. He's got Hayden Hurst, who they traded for, or who they signed, I think. I don't even know what they traded for or signed. But they got Hayden Hurst. Yeah, that's a downgrade, some would say, from Austin Hooper. But the guy is still very athletic. He's still very good. He was a first-round draft pick when Baltimore picked him back in 2018, I believe. Yeah, 2018. He's got Julio, Mount St. Julio, that can just erupt at any point. And you got Calvin Ridley. I mean, that is a fantastic supporting cast. Like I said, and they're going to throw the ball a lot. The offensive line is very average, but it all just... Matt Ryan is just a guy who always seems to finish in the top 10 because he throws the ball so many times. It doesn't even matter if he's not being efficient. He's going to throw touchdowns regardless. He's going to throw for a lot of yards. Yeah, his rushing upside is not really there, but history's shown it doesn't matter. He still puts up the numbers. I like Matt Ryan a lot. Got him at 10. Number 11, I got Carson Wentz. Last year, Wentz was literally playing with practice squad guys, like guys that were not on the depth chart to start this season. And those same guys were his starting wide receivers by the end of the year. It was terrible. Everyone was injured on that team, and he was still putting up 18, 20, 22-point games. Unbelievable. This guy is so good. He's so underrated. Everyone shits on Carson Wentz. Oh, he can't stay healthy, whatever. You know, fuck you. He's a damn good quarterback. I'm not even like a North Dakota State, whatever fucking fan. I'm not a Philly fan by any stretch of the means, but he's a damn good quarterback. And now, Alshon should be healthy. D-Jack should be healthy. They drafted Jalen Reagor. They got Zach Ertz still, getting older, but they still got Dallas Goedert, the replacement for when he's gone. And Miles Sanders is a fantastic running back. Pass catching too. And Boston Scott. The guy does have weapons when they're healthy. Now, if everyone can stay healthy, this offense is going to be so good. I wouldn't be surprised if this... I think the Eagles are going to win their division, no problem. The offensive line is still good. Everyone's kind of getting up in age if they can stay healthy. Jason Peters... if he can stay healthy. I just like this. His supporting cast starting off the year is literally, he's got 4 different starting receivers when this season begins than he did last year at the end of the season. I mean, he's literally got all his talent back. He's got everything. The boys are back in fucking town. That's the deal here. The boys are back in town, and Carson Wentz is going to eat because of it. Now, 12th, final QB on the list, I got Tom Brady. Now, Tom Brady going to the Bucs with all this freaking Corona shit. He's not going to get the time to go through OTAs and camp with his, well, maybe. I mean, it looks like right now we're not sure if we're going to get it. If he doesn't, that's going to be tough. because switching teams, head coaches, offenses, especially when he's played in one offense his entire career in New England, that may be tough. But he's Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. And he's got a hell of an offense around him. My God, that offense is so, so good. They got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski. If O.J. Howard decides to not tell the Bucs to fuck himself, he's got them. They drafted Keyshawn Vaughn. They got Ronald Jones, who is extremely average. I don't know why I said him. But he's got weapons. He does. He's got a lot of weapons. This is the most weapons he's ever had in his career. He's going to absolutely eat. Yeah, his efficiency, or not his efficiency, but his pass numbers and just, well, I guess his efficiency too. But overall, his fantasy production and just his real life production has kind of dipped throughout the past few years, been relying more on the defense. He ain't going to have the defense that he's had in New England, so he's going to have to put up the points. And he's the GOAT. He's going to do it. He's going to get the job done. He's got the more weapons than he's ever had before. I like Tom Brady a lot this year. I think he's going to throw the ball a lot. I think he's going to throw a lot of touchdowns. And he does not have the rushing upside by any sort of means, but he's got his guy back in Gronk, and he's got athletes all around him. I think Tom Brady, the GOAT's going to figure out a way to get it done. All right, guys, thanks for listening to my dumbass talk about some fantasy quarterbacks today. Those are my guys who I think are going to finish as the QB1 this year, my 1 through 12. This is after the draft and everything, so I'll be targeting specifically. I never go quarterback early. I always wait till the later rounds, but if you can get, a guy who I'll be targeting is Stafford and Matt Ryan. I mean, those two, holy crap. I mean, if you can get them in the 9th, 10th round down there, kind of on the back end when guys are hopefully already got the top pickings and you're getting all your receivers and stuff, I would love to get Stafford or Matt Ryan on my team. Both the Matts, just realize. Matt is a good name to have in fantasy, at least at quarterback. Yeah, I don't think there's any other Matts in... Yeah, no other Matts. So Matt is a good quarterback name to have in fantasy. Thanks a lot, guys, for listening. Morningwood Fantasy, stay hard.